Hi guys, welcome to Lisa Loves. Today I am doing the Freddy Krueger Tag, which was created by Sean Erschen. It's taken me a couple of days to get this one done, so apologies to Sean, I just have not had a chance to get a bit of me time to get things done. So I will kick off number one with, what is your favourite dream sequence? Right, there are a couple that stand out to me. I've decided to choose one of them for my favourite kill, so as not to make this too long and waffly as I usually do. With the favourite dream sequence, I'm going to go with something that Sean mentioned, which is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and that is Debbie in the gym doing the bench presses. Hang on, let me get doing the bench presses as you do, and Freddy coming and standing behind her, grips the dumbbell, and presses down. And I think for me, like body horror, things that could actually, well, anyone that's seen it, but couldn't actually happen, but the thing where her elbows snap, crack open, that bit for me was the most horrific of the scene. And obviously then she goes on to transform into the giant bug. We find out earlier in the movie that she doesn't like bugs. Now that transformation for me, to be fair, I found really funny. There's just something amusing about, unlike the fly, now the fly was just like obscene, it was horrible, but Debbie turning into the roach, funny as hell. And then when Freddy squashes the little, when she gets stuck on the fly papery type stuff and her face goes on it, and it's like, I'm in hysterical laughter. I find that so funny. And he squishes, it says Roach Motel on the side I think, and he squishes it at the end, and yeah, cracks me up, love it. So that's my favourite dream sequence. I think Alice is dreaming at that stage and Debbie dies in the gym. I said that was Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master, I think. Number 2, favourite film in the franchise. Right, this has to, for me, go to number 3 in the franchise, The Dream Warriors. Obviously we have Nancy is grown up now in this one, and she is advising the younger kids in the area. We have a really young Patricia Arquette. It is Patricia, isn't it? There's two, Patricia and Rosanna. I think it's Patricia. Yes, Patricia. Who's in this, and I really love Patricia Arquette. So yeah, that was awesome. And there's a really good scene in that with Freddy turning into like a snake and trying to eat Patricia Arquette. That's a good one. What was it? Yeah, that's my favourite one. And also I have to mention the soundtrack. Dokken do the soundtrack to this, and their video, Dokken's video for Dream Warriors, actually is loads of clips of Nightmare on Elm Street, which is pretty cool. So at that sort of age, when you're impressionable and you're a teenager and you know you're hearing like rock music to a movie, it made me love it all the more at the time. So, and it was very close. I almost picked the first one, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, but I had to go with 3 because of the music. Number 3, do you think Elm Street 2 should have followed the events of the first film more, or do you think it works as a standalone film? Right. I enjoy both aspects. I like character development, so I do enjoy to see characters pop up again, so I did enjoy seeing like a grown-up Nancy in number 3. But also at the same time I also enjoy entirely new characters and getting to know those new characters. I don't mind a series like a franchise where each film tells a completely different story, as long as our protagonist, obviously Freddy, is there. I don't mind. So no, I was not disappointed that number 2 didn't follow on from number 1. I enjoy both, to be fair. So yeah, didn't bother me. Number 4. What is your favourite kill in the franchise? Right, I have mentioned already, I've written here Debbie Bug. I've mentioned Debbie already with the bug thing. Another one that I really remember is Sheila, Wanna Suck Face. You remember that one? And at that time the effects was like, oh, even like the thought of having to kiss Freddy Krueger to start with, but like all the life is sucked out of her and she like drops to the floor, a dried husk of a person. But I haven't picked that one. I have picked from number 3, Dream Warriors, and I'm going to look, I think it's Philip Anderson, I'm going to check. Yes, Philip Anderson, right, so Freddy comes up and he's doing some slashing, but you can't see what he's doing, and he actually cuts his arms and legs, and he takes the tendons from this. I should say the scene starts, the kids are like in a hospital, and the scene starts with these puppets hung on the wall, and one of the puppets morphs into Freddy. Freddy becomes the puppet, and you see his face forming. It almost looks like clay. So Freddy becomes the puppet, and then Freddy turns this young lad into a giant puppet, of which he is the marionette. He uses Philip's tendons, so he like pulls them out of his arms, or should I say like that, to the wrists, and he's like this, like a puppet, and he uses his tendons to have him walk, and then he walks onto the top of like a big tower, and as his friends are all like staring out of the window and screaming, Freddy just slashes the tendons, the strings, and Philip falls to his death below. Obviously the death itself isn't the most, you know, impressive. We don't see it, but it was just the whole puppet and the marionette and the tendons was just, gross. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5, is Freddy vs. Jason better as a Friday the 13th film or as a Nightmare on Elm Street film? Right, I went back and forth with this one. I am going to say it's more of a Friday the 13th movie. I know a lot of people have said it's based around Freddy, but Freddy cannot move outside of, and I can't remember the name, it's not going to try, the name of the town where he lives. He is incapable of, everyone's forgotten him. He is incapable of acquiring any more victims, so he has to bring Jason in order to help him get the victims, but discovers in the process of the movie that Jason is keeping these victims for himself. So obviously then Freddy and Jason have a bit of a set too, which culminates in that absolutely awesome scene where they end up in the lake together, and you wonder, right, who's gonna win, and you're guessing who's gonna win, and Jason comes out with Freddy's head in his hand, and you're like, Jason's won. But then Freddy winks. Freddy's severed head winks. And it's like, what the hell's going on with this? How's this possible? But I felt if Jason wasn't in the movie, Freddy wouldn't have been able to do anything. So Freddy was needed in order for Jason was needed in order for Freddy to continue to come back. So there wouldn't have been a Freddy without Jason. But obviously Jason could have went on his merry way and done whatever he wanted without Freddy. So I'm going to go with Jason on this one. Number 6. Who is your favourite final girl in the franchise? Right, it can only go to one girl for me. It can only go to Nancy. As a woman that enjoys horror, one of my pet peeves and big horror tropes, as you will all know, is the screaming, useless, flailing, falling down, running up the stairs girl. Can't be doing with it. It's one thing that did annoy me about Patricia Arquette when she was in it. She just incessantly screamed all the way through. I do like Patricia Arquette. I just cannot be doing with women that are useless in movies and that can't do anything to help themselves and have to be saved by the man. It frustrates the hell out of me. There will be women out there that are just like that, but in the same way, there will be the Ripleys, there will be the Nancys, and it's nice to see them represented. She fights back against Freddy. She comes up with traps. She reads. She beats him. So yeah, Nancy, can't go to anyone else. Number 7. What would you like to see in the next installment of the franchise? This was hard because we left Freddy with a severed head, didn't we? So I think if we're going to have anything, we would need to introduce an element of sci-fi in there like they did with Jason. So could Freddy's head be cryogenically frozen? Could he come back on someone else's body? We would have to introduce a sci-fi twist. But what I find most interesting about the prospect of another Freddy, everyone says Robert Englund would have to do it, and I would tend to agree. But Robert Englund has said that he would like to see Kevin Bacon do it. I love Kevin Bacon. I love most things Kevin Bacon has done. I mean, one of my all-time favourite movies, hideously overlooked movies, is Murder in the First. If you haven't seen Murder in the First with Kevin Bacon, absolutely adore that movie. It's everything about it's perfect. Love it. But yeah, I love Kevin Bacon. I really like him. I think he has that element of humour to him, like Robert Englund has. That sort of, I don't know if he'd manage the manic sort of side of things like Robert Englund does, but I would like to see Kevin Bacon take on Freddy. Yeah, why not? And finally, number 8, reenact your favourite line from the franchise. Okay, so I was initially gonna go with when it's like, oh God, and he goes, this is God. But I think Jason already had that one. I was to and fro, and then there's obviously Wanna Suck Face. I think someone had that one as well. Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. I like that one as well. But I've gone with, purely for the humour element of it, because I remember when I watched it laughing out loud when he said it. It's Dream Warriors, when Joey's in the bed and you see the like impossibly beautiful woman like underwater coming up to him in the waterbed, and he meets obviously his untimely death, and Freddy says to him, hang on, how's that for a wet dream? I laughed out loud. Brilliant. Loved it. There's something quite satisfying and funny about thinking about the poor little guy's excitement and, oh, look at this beautiful woman, and then that happening. Maybe I'm sick in the head, but it amused me. Quite a lot amused me. Yeah. Actually, I've written down how's this for a wet dream, not how's that for a wet dream. But yeah, I'm going with that one. So, that's 8 questions answered. Finally. Apologies for the delay. I am not going to tag anyone because everyone that I would tag has been tagged or has done this one already. But I will say, anyone that hasn't done it, BRONCOJUGGALO Talks Movies, I don't know if you've done this one. I do remember you commenting on someone else's. Don't know if they tagged you, but you're tagged if you would like to do it. If you want to do it, if you're a Freddy fan, do it. 100% do it. Get it done. Let us know. Obviously, I've got a hair in my face. It's really annoying me. Yeah, so anyone that wants to do it, do it. Obviously give Sean Erschen credit. It's his tag, so if you put that in the title, put it in the description and link to his site. And if you want to see the questions and see his answers, pop over and watch the original video. I'm sure Sean will set up a playlist with all the others if you want to have a watch of those. But that is my little contribution. So hope you enjoyed that. And until the next one, it's over and out from Lisa Lives.